me.
Can you relax a little bit? What is wrong with you?
Give me.
What is wrong with you?
I'm not asking.
I'm getting
you, I'm
it. You
you.
clown.
Give me your ID.
Might need to see that on camera too, guys.
Good.
Get out of the car. Get out of the car. I'm not playing around. Get out of the car. Get out.
No, I get it. I'm telling you, to me, this looks like criminal trespass to me, okay?
Think cops always follow the law? Think again. In today's video, we're breaking down some of the shocking things corrupt cops did on duty and how everyday people with cameras and courage expose the truth. These aren't small mistakes. We're talking about officers abusing power, lying on record, and getting caught red-handed. If you believe in accountability and real justice, you're gonna want to see this. Let's get into it.
Can you take your light off? Can you stop obstructing my First Amendment because you're scared?
This encounter begins outside of the UCFS Mental Health and Rehab Center, where a First Amendment auditor voiced concern about police parking near a place meant to be a stress-free zone for vulnerable individuals. The presence of officers there created an atmosphere of surveillance and intimidation instead of support, showing a clear lack of sensitivity to context. However, when he challenged the officers, it bruised their ego and things started to quickly spiral.
Couldn't even tell it was a cop from over there. Can't see the light rack, nothing. Why are you shining that on me?
Why are you filming me?
What do you mean, why am I filming you?
Can I help you?
Yeah, you could take that light off me. That's what you could do.
Is there a reason you're walking up on me?
I'm walking up. I'm walking. That's what I'm doing. I'm not walking up on you. You own this lot. You're not even supposed to be here.
Well, how am I not?
Because it's private property. What are you doing protecting this? Go out and do something. I'm dead serious. What do you mean? This is a drug program. You want people, you think people are going to come get help here with you sitting here? You want people, you think people are going to come get help here with you sitting here?
Nah. You see what's in front of me, sir?
I don't care what's in front of you. That has nothing to do with me. You were here, so go park where you're supposed to park. Go park where you're supposed to park. No, you're not. You're not here to park, hide, and yeah, in a parking spot on private property.
No, it's not private property.
Is this entrapment? You trapping people? Well, go put your lights on and sit where people can see you, because you ain't doing traffic. I ain't seen your radar or nothing. You ain't doing shit. I've been watching you.
As the citizen approached the officer, he criticized the patrol for being on private property without a valid reason. In response, the officer shined a spotlight in his face instead of replying professionally. Rather than engage in dialogue, the officer acted defensively, aggressively, and dismissively, almost as if public accountability wasn't allowed. It was less about safety, more about ego hiding behind high beams.
Oh, so what are you doing?
What does it look like I'm doing?
It looks like you're sitting on private property. Out, dude. It looks like you're sitting on private property hanging out. You guys always sit here. It's a drug treatment program, bro. Drug treatment.
Give me your ID.
I'm not giving you my ID. For what?
What?
For what? What law did I break?
You didn't break the law.
Oh, so I don't have to give you ID.
Why you're coming up to me? So now I need to know if you have warrants.
No, you don't. Are you crazy? Get a supervisor. Get a supervisor.
No.
Okay,
Get
what?
out
No.
of here right now.
I'm not getting
You're
anywhere.
harassing me.
I'm not harassing you. You even know what harassment is? How are you enforcing the laws? You don't even know what they are, bro.
Sir, get.
Can I have a
away
supervisor,
from me.
please?
Go to.
Somebody call a supervisor. We're at UCFS,
Go to
Norwich.
Police Department.
I'm not going there. I'm requesting one. Why would I walk all the way over there?
What am I?
What are you?
Call.
Why would I call? You have a radio.
I'm not using it.
You see I'm
not
using
it
this?
for you.
So you're not using it for the public?
Absolutely
You're a
not.
piece of bro. You're a piece of bro. You get out of here. Go do something.
Exactly what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing. Whole bunch of nothing. Oh, thanks for the light, Barry. You guys see this? This is Norwich Police Department. Can I get your name and badge number, ma'am? Ma'am, can I get your name and badge number? No? Why are you being so rude? You're that scared of the public, you shouldn't be out here working, bro.
You go harass people.
You don't know what harassment is. Stop using that term if you don't know what it is.
I have freedom of speech.
You do, but you don't have freedom to accuse me of doing stuff I'm not doing.
Instead of answering a question, the officer demanded ID without any legal basis, even admitting the citizen hadn't broken the law. This was a textbook example of intimidation and abuse of authority. When the citizen requested a supervisor, the officer refused and belittled his right to public records. It's almost laughable how little some officers know about the very laws they're meant to enforce.
It scares me that you're out here charging people and you don't know what harassment is. Did I do anything? You got out and acted like a psycho, bro. You are a psycho. You shouldn't be enforcing. I can walk wherever I want. I can. Go. You're free to leave. And neither am I.
I guess we both have a job to do, don't we?
Yeah, well, you're not doing yours. You didn't call a supervisor. You're not doing traffic. You're putting your light. You know that's a First Amendment violation, you clown? Do you know that's a First Amendment violation, you clown?
I mean, you're out here.
I'm out here what? What am I doing? Get out of here. What am I doing? This is how Norwich treats the public, guys. Guy's scared. He got out of his car, shining his light. You can't even see him because he's so scared. You are scared. You jumped out and acted like that, bro. You're scared. You are. Well, you're scared of the camera, clearly. That's what you said. That's what you said. That what? What does that have to do with me? What does that have to do with me? What does that have to do with me? What does it have to do with me? You already know who I am. You already know who I am. Have I ever ambushed a cop, you clown? No. Stop making it up, bro.
The citizen tried to explain that he had the right to free speech and to film in a public space. The officer acted as if the camera threatened his authority. Instead of following the law, the officers placed themselves above it, showing arrogance and a blatant disregard for basic rights. Funny how the people with the most power seem the most afraid of a lens.
Oh, you're harassing me. How are you charging people? You don't even know what harassment is, bro. That's sad. How many people are sitting in jail right now on charges that you didn't understand? How many? Can I have a supervisor for the third time, please? Do I got any mods in here? Lou or Swine, call Norwich Police Department and tell them we need a supervisor at CPS. What? Don't worry about what I'm doing. Why are you worried about me? You're not worried, but you seem very worried. Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. Can you take your light off? Can you stop obstructing my First Amendment because you're scared?
Isn't it strange that the same officers who once took an oath to protect everyone's rights now act as if those laws don't even exist? Somewhere along the way, the oath became optional and the power became the point. But hold on, they were just getting started on their power trip. What comes next will show just how far these officers are willing to go when no one tells them enough.
No, you just gotta keep it on. You're a winner, bro. Winner. I thought you weren't going anywhere. You gonna get to work? Thanks for the supervisor, Ferry. Joko, what up, man? I didn't even know you had a channel. Yo, you guys, I only came by here because I drove by here like 2 weeks ago, and I seen one sitting in here, and it made my blood boil, dude. We shouldn't have cops hanging out outside of our drug treatment centers. This is just like when these guys go sit right outside the methadone clinics in Willimantic and Norwich and prey on them. Easy targets. This dude was a psycho. Does anybody think that was appropriate? I don't. I don't think that dude should be out doing anything. He should be a tierman in prison. Where's he going? I'm gonna follow you, dude. He's going up here. We're gonna follow him. Was I wrong on that? Anybody?
The officer accused the citizen of jaywalking, even though the camera clearly showed that wasn't the case. He demanded ID and immediately threatened a fine, but it was obvious this wasn't about a traffic violation. It all happened because the citizen had bruised their egos. At that point, it wasn't law enforcement, it was retaliation with a badge.
I need your ID, sir. I need your ID. Jaywalked. I need your ID. You're getting talk. Yes. You walked outside the crosswalk. Crosswalk's right there.
Right in it.
You weren't not. You're not. You're right there. Yeah, on camera. It's right there.
See it?
Get over here.
That way.
It was.
No,
get over here. You just jaywalked. Literally. You have it on film right there.
No.
Give me your ID.
I'll give you my ID. But we're gonna fight this.
Go ahead.
You're a f***ing Master Nani. You're a f***ing fiend,
and
dude.
you can't read. Give me your.
I can't read. What? I read it.
Give me.
Can you relax a little bit? What is wrong with you?
Give me.
What
your
is
ID.
wrong with you?
I'm not asking.
I'm getting it. You clown.
Give me your ID.
Might need to see that on camera too, guys.
Go ahead.
So
you got it right there. You just recorded it.
No, yours.
You recorded.
I didn't record anything.
You recorded
no, you
walking.
think I did?
You recorded walking across the street.
I was in the crosswalk.
I'll be right back with your citation, sir.
Oh, of course I am. Clown, dude.
Sir, put your hands behind your back.
For what?
Because I don't feel safe right now.
You don't feel safe?
Yeah,
you're going to detain me?
Yes. You're walking up on me. You danced on me twice.
I can walk wherever I want. Let me put my phone in my pocket.
Stop. Right now. Stop resisting.
I'm not resisting at all, you loser. You are crazy, dude. You are crazy.
I'm crazy.
The citizen tried to remain dignified, but the officer attacked him, invented a sense of being threatened, and began arresting him without cause. This was a blatant abuse of power. Claiming to not feel safe became a weak excuse for a violent arrest that had no legal basis. The act of arrest here wasn't a response to crime. It was a punishment for questioning authority.
I'm not resisting at all. You are crazy, dude. You are crazy. I'm not resisting at all. You are crazy, dude. Can you stop dragging me around for something? You are dragging me. Stop. You are. Stop. Stop what? Stop. I'm not doing anything. What am I resisting? I'm not moving. How am I resisting? Stop. Just because you're saying it? Stop. Can you stop throwing me, dude?
No one's throwing me.
Yeah, you are.
The violence continued. The citizen cried out for them to stop dragging him, but the police ignored him. The only offense he was accused of was supposedly crossing the street improperly. A supervisor was finally called, but only after multiple requests. By then, the citizen had already been subjected to force and detained without any valid reason, and still, the situation was nowhere near finished.
Bud,
10-6-1-2. I got one to tell you.
can I get a supervisor?
Yeah.
Yeah?
He's requesting a 21.
Oh, finally? You got him finally?
That's 306.
Ten 611 by number.
What's your number?
No, you're a psycho.
While speaking with his colleagues, the officer falsely claimed that the citizen had attacked him. This manipulation of the report is a serious ethical violation and a clear example of how the system can cover up an unjustified arrest. Thankfully, the camera captured the truth and it told a completely different story. In that moment, the footage became the only honest officer at the scene.
Yeah, well, he's arrested now. Yeah. Yeah, I'm getting him for jaywalking. He went across the street and walks out of the crosswalk. I'm like, dude, what? Like, I'm like, you want an issue? Like, what's... I think so. Because his phone's on the ground. He like walked up on me. I'm trying to I turn my back. He's on me again. I'm like, what is going on, this dude?
Okay, 1087 to 91.
Well, I made that. All right, bro. Later.
154 Prospect Street. Delivery driver just got his vehicle stolen. He was running at the curb while he was inside. It's a 2014 Hyundai Ascent, color blue. Try to find a reg for you.
Sorry? And you're out here doing this?
What's that?
Somebody's car just got stolen. You could be doing real stuff.
It was a different beat.
Huh?
It was a different beat.
HQ, was that Domino's or another neighbor?
Parking lot, hiding in the back.
I wasn't hiding in the back.
Why are you over there? Drug program, bro?
Drug program? I had absolutely no problem with people going to a drug program. They're trying to get help.
You feel comfortable with you going there?
What's that?
The citizen again pointed out that the officer was parked in front of a rehab facility instead of addressing real crime. Rather than listen, the officer responded with arrogance and brushed off the criticism. He clearly ignored how problematic and counterproductive his presence was for a place meant to support recovery and how much it damaged public trust.
Why wouldn't they feel comfortable?
I've had complaints about you guys sitting there.
You've had complaints?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Well,
You guys are there quite often.
you're citizen of the year, bro.
Oh, that's a good comeback because I just called you comfortable.
The vehicle's not registered to the 25. It's registered to a family member. I think I have the plate. I'm not 100%. Bravo Kilo 99478. Bravo Kilo 99478.
What's that?
You need to write a jaywalking ticket.
Yeah, you're right. Don't jaywalk.
How many people do you do that to?
Jaywalking?
No, fake resistance.
Fake resisting?
Yeah, how many?
I didn't fake resist.
Yeah, you do. You just did it.
Fake.
You got caught doing it.
I faked resist.
Yeah, no, you said I was resisting when I absolutely wasn't.
You 100% were. You're pulling your hands.
not.
I told you to put your hands behind your back. You started pulling them away from you.
Phone in my pocket.
You were not.
Let me put my phone in my pocket.
Stop. Right now. Stop resisting.
I'm not resisting at all, you loser.
The officer continued accusing the citizen of resisting, even though the footage clearly showed he was just trying to put his phone in his pocket. This fabricated claim of resistance was a clear attempt to justify an unjustified arrest. His mention of a rule sounded more like intimidation than any legitimate procedure. When the facts don't fit, they just invent a threat to fill the gap.
Yes, I was.
Okay, here's a life hack, dude. If a cop tells you put your hands behind your back, yes, it is.
Not.
I know you feel.
You say so?
I know you feel entitled. Yeah, I know that's
Don't
crazy.
feel entitled.
That's crazy, right? You got rules you gotta follow. Nuts, nuts, dude. Oh my God, that's such a crazy thing. Like you wouldn't think that, right? Not like you grew up like that. What's that?
That you're a sovereign citizen?
I'm a sovereign citizen? Oh, I am, man.
You know you are.
Who said I'm a sovereign citizen?
Buddy, you proved it. You just proved it.
I'm a sovereign citizen.
Yes.
You talk about words that you don't know what they mean, right?
Really, though, like
You don't, though. But you don't, though.
The officer resorted to insults, calling the citizen a sovereign citizen without any basis, trying to discredit him. He leaned on stereotypes to paint him as a conspiracy theorist, even though the man was simply asking legitimate questions. Rather than explaining his actions, the officer used mockery as a substitute for reasoning.
I know you're a YouTuber and you got tens of followers, and I respect that. But at the same time, like, you can't jaywalk, man. It's just not, you just can't do that. What's that?
Why did you need my ID before so you knew who I was?
I didn't know who you are.
You did.
I don't know.
You just found out all that.
What do you mean I just found out all what? Who said that?
You did, you idiot.
I said what? What did I say?
Well, a YouTuber with your tens of followers.
Tens of followers. Wow, you got tens of followers? That's awesome.
So it can be northeast by request if that's what they want, or it's by rotation.
Where did that go?
Northeast by request, please.
How long it usually takes to ride a jaywalk?
No.
1084-1101.
You wanted the supervisor, remember?
Yeah, but I wanted one for 10 minutes.
Oh my God. Isn't that crazy?
It is. I wanted one 10 minutes.
You got one now.
1084.
The citizen asked why the officer had demanded his ID if he already knew who he was. The officer had no clear answer, but continued mocking him and downplaying the number of his followers as if that was somehow justifying his behavior. But get ready, because what comes next is where the officer truly shows his real face.
Disregard 1084.
Sergeant. He wants to supervise. He's mad because he got pinched for jaywalking, so he's upset. He almost got it for interfering with.
1042, can you back?
See, he's the YouTuber there with tens of followers. He's telling me, and I'm sitting in the UCF parking lot, minding my own business. He comes up behind me, so my alarm goes off. He starts berating me. And I'm like, all right. So I go across the street, and then he walks right across the street. Just misses the crosswalk, doesn't go in there. So I'm like, all right, that's jaywalking. You're gonna get a ticket. So he gets, this, that. I tell him, he keeps coming, following me, oh, you're a clown. He keeps coming at me. So I'm like, you put your hands behind your back. I don't feel safe. You're not listening. You're not. So he goes to put his hand on, rips his hand out. So I freaking stuff him against the car, cuff him.
The officer spoke to his supervisor, twisting the facts to present himself as the victim. He conveniently left out key details, refusing the supervisor request, acting aggressively, demanding ID without cause, and using physical force. He tried to spin the incident in his favor, revealing a troubling level of manipulation. The fact that he used false claims in front of a superior shows a deliberate attempt to cover up his actions and avoid accountability.
He's been asking for a supervisor since he saw me across the street, so he just wants, he wants his tens of followers to rally for his support on YouTube. So it just he follows me across the road. And like I said, he decided to walk outside the crosswalk. So I was like, all right, well, you're getting a jaywalking ticket. And he's like, first he wouldn't give me his ID, and I was like, all right, listen, can you? Yeah, I asked him for it over there, and he was like, no, I'm not doing anything. I'm not breaking any laws. I'm like, well, you have no reason to be over here. He's like, you have no reason to be. I'm like, all right, cool, fair. So I went across the street. The guy decides to jaywalk. So I'm like, well, I'm gonna get a jaywalk ticket. I don't know what I did with his ID. He just had his ID on it. But now he's prescribed for a supervisor. So I just said, I get a supervisor for him. So if you don't want to come over, I'll tell him to make a complaint at the PD. Yeah, he's definitely gonna take it. Okay, all right. Yep, bye. Yep, bye. You gotta love it, bro. I don't know what happened to that.
Despite not knowing where the citizen's ID went, the officer kept insisting that everything he did was justified. The fact that he lost the man's identification only highlighted his carelessness and lack of responsibility. Rather than reflecting on the legality of his actions, he focused entirely on damage control and shifting blame. It's hard to believe in justice when the one holding your ID can't even hold the truth.
I'm gonna open this door for you, okay? So you get some air? Okay. He must have lost his ID.
What's that?
I don't know where his ID went. Huh.
1048.
No, I know I didn't do that. Couple fucking hands up. No, I didn't think it was going to be an issue. Like I said, I didn't know. Well, I was. I mean, you heard the story. I'm not going to regurgitate it. I'm just having Sean send me the.
Where did it happen? Did it be on the ground?
So he don't know. So I'm over here, Jim. I don't know what this is. Sean, can you put his what do you call it in the narrative? The odd number in the narrative.
The citizen finally spoke with the sergeant, calmly explaining his side from peacefully filming to being unjustly arrested. The sergeant seemed more respectful, but excused his colleague by saying he wasn't there. The citizen clearly laid out how the arrest had happened: no resistance, no broken law. He also pointed out that his phone was ripped from his hand and his personal property was damaged.
Yeah,
Okay.
it is. I'd like you to review the cameras and everything. I started over there.
Okay.
And he jumped out of his car and was all aggressive, and he needed my ID. I told him I'm not going to ID. And then I crossed the road, and he seems to think I jaywalked, but I didn't think I jaywalked. I was over there.
Okay.
There was no cars on the road. And then I came over here on the sidewalk, and then he attacked me over here.
Okay.
And then he accused me of resisting when I didn't even move, and ripped my phone out of my hand, threw it on the ground. Other stuff out of my pockets is gone.
Okay.
And now I'm in cuffs for a quote-unquote jaywalking.
Okay.
When I didn't do anything.
So what you're telling me is you'd like to make a complaint?
Well, I can come do that anyways, but
Okay.
I requested you 15 minutes ago over there.
1061, be advised you're being live streamed, and I'm
Two or
getting
three
calls
times.
now.
Okay. For what reason were you requesting
Because
me
he
over
was
there?
jumping out of his car trying to get my ID, all
Okay.
aggressive for no reason.
Okay.
So I figured somebody with some rank could come fill him in that I'm not doing anything wrong, and he needs to
Sure.
get in his place.
So
The sergeant offered the citizen the option to file a formal complaint. While technically correct, his remark that the citizen could just print the form at home felt like a subtle way to delay and complicate the process. At this point, not a single officer had taken responsibility for the use of force, and somehow the system still wonders why trust keeps slipping through its hands.
can you explain to me what you were doing over there?
I was filming.
Filming
That was it, yeah.
who?
Him.
Okay. You can understand why that would make him nervous, though.
Yeah, but there's a way to do it. That's not how
Okay.
you do it.
All right.
You want to have a cordial conversation.
Okay, I
you have
appreciate
to-
it, but
yeah.
did he disengage and leave?
Yeah, after
Okay.
he refused to call a supervisor, and
Okay.
that doesn't have to do with anything.
Yep. So just so I'm clear, all right, he left and you followed
He
him
went
across the street.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Okay. So he chose not to have a conversation with you.
Well, no, he did after he did it the wrong way. And
Okay.
said he wasn't going to, he's not going to leave, and he doesn't have to do this, and he shined his light in my camera the whole time, just
Yeah.
being a dick. Like, it's all recorded.
Okay.
So, his unprofessional manner there, you wouldn't make that think that would put fear in the public? A cop doing that with how many ever people were just watching?
Well, I understand
Absolutely.
what I
So we're
understand
gonna
what
follow.
you're saying. However, can you understand
Well,
from
yeah.
our perspective somebody
No, I
kind
get
of
it.
creeping
But
up
you
behind
got-
the
yeah,
behind
but
the
no,
car or
I
something
didn't
like that?
creep up on him at all. He saw.
Yeah.
I stood to the side for 10 minutes before I even walked up. He saw me.
Okay.
So it wasn't like I popped up on him. I came in and
So regardless, given the situation in the country right now with people ambushing cops and stuff like that while
nothing
there's
to do with me.
well, it may not, but it might well as well.
Well, yeah, but you guys have
Yeah,
to
we don't
come
know
out
that.
appropriately. You can't just
Okay.
come out however you want because you're scared. You know what I mean? Like that's not how it's done.
Well,
The sergeant mentioned that he would review the body cam footage, but avoided condemning his colleague's behavior. The citizen described in detail how he stood still and was grabbed without warning. He continued asking for the return of his belongings and compensation for the damage, which was barely the minimum he deserved at that point. But let's face it, these officers weren't here to protect the public.
I
No,
will
it's
of
not.
course review his body camera.
And that's all I wanted. Like,
and you are welcome to come to the police department to
Yeah,
file a formal
absolutely.
complaint if you'd like, or you can file you can print out the paperwork online and bring it to the
yeah,
police
I think I
department
have
as well.
one. Is it? Do I have to request the IA investigation?
No, you by filling out the complaint form information.
Yeah.
It'll go to the deputy chief and he'll assign it to a
He's been
supervisor.
just sitting here
investigate.
running his mouth the whole time. He's not
Okay.
really a professional at all.
Well, all right. Well, I will review the body camera.
That's all I
and-
wanted.
Okay.
We're good. I really didn't do anything. Like, he grabbed me. I'm scared. That's what he said. I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't walking towards him.
Yeah.
And he ripped my out of my hand, threw my phone, threw $200 headphones in my pocket. He threw. Like,
Okay.
come on. That's not needed.
All
For
right.
what?
I understand. All right. Is there anything else I can do for you?
I want to make sure I get all my property back.
Of course you will.
And if my stuff's broken, we got to figure that out.
All right. You can, of course, include that on your complaint. Okay, if anything's broken. All right. Before you leave, though, if anything's broken, I want you to let this officer here know, okay?
What's his name?
This is Officer Holman.
Yeah, I'd rather deal with him. He looks a little more stable.
Yep. All right.
Yeah, and wait, is this really appropriate for, you know what I mean, jaywalking?
Well, I wasn't here, so...
Well, what would the normal course of action be for cuffing somebody for jaywalking?
Well, depends on the situation.
Just
Did you just stand there? Yeah. I mean, the body camera will show
I stood there with
right?
my camera.
Yeah.
Like the taping.
And when he asked you for your ID to give you the infraction for
I asked him for what? And I said I wasn't. And then when he said the infraction, I said absolutely, and I gave it to him.
After everything that happened, this case clearly shows how some individuals in uniform abuse their power, ignore basic rights, and then try to paint themselves as the victims, while actually crushing free expression and legitimate public oversight. All of this was just a string of shocking things these corrupt cops did on duty, all because someone bruised their ego. Have you ever dealt with officers like this? Let us know in the comments. And now we move on to the next, even crazier case. This officer told a driver to roll down the back window, repeating it several times without giving a clear reason. The driver didn't understand why that was necessary. Instead of calming the situation, the officer quickly started threatening to break the windows. Rather than de-escalating, he used a harsh tone and threats, which only raised tension for no good reason. And if you thought this was bad, well, just wait, things were only warming up.
Baker 169.
Roll down your back window.
Why you got gun out?
Roll down your back window.
Why is the gun out?
Because you weren't pulling over. Roll down your back window now.
I didn't see you.
Roll down your back window. Roll down your back window.
You can't see the car. It's way too dark. Just roll the back window. Just roll the back window down first. Can't see anything in the back of the car. Is there anybody back there? Okay, just roll the windows down before we break them. How does that sound then?
Listen, I'm going to pull you out of the car if you don't roll your back window down. What are you doing?
You're doing too much.
Get out of the car. Get out of the car. Sir, get out of the car. Get out of the car. Get out of the car.
Sorry, got you. Take in the car, please.
Get out of the car.
The cop started pulling the driver out of the car without it giving any clear reason. He didn't offer any legal explanation or try to explain what was happening in the first place. Instead of talking, he used force and commands without a solid basis, showing a clear abuse of power. There was no attempt at a calm interaction, which is supposed to be a basic duty in situations like this.
You got a window puncher now. Get out of the car. Get out of the car. I'm telling you to get out of the car.
What?
Because I said so. Get out of the car.
Why you want?
Because you're not complying with me. Get out of the car right now. Get out.
What's the reason why?
Because I'm conducting. Get out of the car. I'm not explaining anything else. Get out of the car. Bro, I'm just gonna break the window. All right, I'm breaking your window. No, I'm not. I'm breaking your window.
Yes, you is.
How much you want to bet? I'm gonna break your window, sir.
Yeah, you gonna pay?
Okay.
The officer threatened to break the window while the driver was trying to talk and ask for a reason. Still, the officer refused to explain, saying only "because I told you so." This approach was arbitrary and unprofessional. Instead of giving a lawful order, he used emotional pressure and force without any cause. When "because I said so" becomes law, justice has clearly left the building.
Ready, Maury? What's up? Sir, you need to get out of the car. I'm going to break your window.
What is the problem?
I'm going to break your window. Get out of the car. I'm going to break your window.
What did I do?
I'm going to break your window. Get out of the car. Get out of the car. Get out of the car. I'm not playing around. Get out of the car.
What is this? Oh, chill out, bro. Chill out. Why are you doing that?
Get out. Now. Get out of the car.
Yo, chill out, bro. Chill. Yo, for what? What did I do? Oh.
Stop.
Nah, bro, nah. Yo, what the f***? Yo, help me! Help me!
Stop grabbing my hand.
The police physically attacked the driver and he screamed for help in a panic. He clearly said he hadn't done anything wrong and begged them not to break his arm. One officer accused him of having drugs without any evidence and before searching his body or car. This shows prejudice and a violent approach with no legal basis. Because who needs proof when you've already decided someone's guilty?
Grab my hand, you understand?
Help me! Help me! I didn't... Yo, help me!
Bro, you got drugs on you. Stop
No,
moving.
I don't.
Yes, you do.
I promise I don't.
Bro, for that.
Come on, bro.
You're an idiot, bro.
Come on. What are y'all doing?
Stand up.
Yeah, record the whole... What they doing?
Stop.
Bro, I can't get my crotch. Bro, what the fuck? What y'all doing?
You're not gonna leave. We're gonna need that for evidence.
Yeah, bro, don't. Bro, record the whole shit.
There we go.
Record the whole thing. Record the whole thing.
The driver was taken down, subjected to force, and was now struggling to catch his breath. Witnesses at the scene commented in shock, disturbed by the violence they had just seen. The officers kept acting like this was a routine stop, ignoring the harm they had caused, still offering no clear reason for their actions. When you break someone down, just pretend it's policy. Move on.
Bro, yo.
No, get in the car. What's up? Probably. Yeah.
Just a lot of weed.
Yeah.
The driver explained to an officer what had happened, that he was stopped without a clear reason and had his window smashed just for asking questions. The officer tried to calm things down but didn't take any responsibility for what his colleagues had done. They now claim the reason was towing the car due to a technical issue, something that hadn't been mentioned before.
Watch your back.
Okay, I'm not familiar with this area. It could maybe
it's that street right there, right?
Okay.
So you see anybody I'm fast driving, so I know. See, I pulled over right here, so I didn't really know. So then, he walking up to my car with a gun. Like, he didn't point it, but he got it out. And I was telling him to put the gun away. He put the gun away. Never was really trying to tell me why he pulled me over. So I didn't hop out the car. He told me to get out the car. I never got out the car. They broke my window, pulled me out the car, doing all type of shit. Now my car about to get towed. All this other shit for what?
Well, I don't know. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Because your car's getting towed because it's uninspected. So we have to tow it because of that. It's not roadworthy.
The driver clearly said he was scared because the officer approached with a drawn gun. He repeated that no explanation was given to him. The officer kept downplaying the situation, trying to convince the driver he only needed to lower the window while ignoring the driver's legitimate fears and rights. And just when the fear should have ended, the denial kept it alive.
For the state of New York. I'd have to go look. But it comes up that it's expired. Why'd you put your window up? Why didn't you talk to him?
No, I was, but he never told me. I asked him, he told me to get out the car. I said, what? He said, just get out. Like, he wasn't trying to give me no reason. Like, why would I just get out there? I've been, before I got pulled over 10 times before. They asked me for my license. He never asked me for my license, so I didn't get out the car. So he broke my window.
Okay. All right. But you had your window up?
Yeah, and my sunroof was up. Like, when you...
I'm just asking, why wouldn't you? Because you've been told.
Because he had a gun. That's the reason why. Why would I roll up my window if he got a gun out?
Well, that way you guys can talk.
My window was rolled. It was cracked. Like, it was cracked.
All right. Are you okay? I mean, I see. They tell me you don't even have a record.
Exactly.
Like, I don't know.
The driver explained he was regularly stopped because of racial profiling. The officer seemed caught off guard, but instead of apologizing or admitting fault, tried to shift the blame back onto the driver. This moment revealed a deeper issue of systemic discrimination, though they tried to present it as just a simple misunderstanding. When the system gets exposed, the quickest move is always to blame the victim.
This escalated quickly. Can I give you a tip next time? Next time, an officer, just put your window down and talk to him. You know what I mean?
You don't understand, bro. No, I'm not even trying to be funny though, but y'all not black, man. You don't understand. I get pulled over like almost every other day. So I had this conversation.
So probably before you put down your window, then, right?
Yes, but
because you wouldn't have a bashed out window.
It's not my first time doing what he did. It's not my first time either.
Okay.
I done been on the other side.
Well, they got some paperwork to do, and then they're gonna get you out of here. All right. You're not going to jail. You didn't do anything to go to jail. It's all appearance ticket or whatever. So, you're good though? You're straight? All right. I hope your day gets better from here. I hope this is the worst part of your week, sir. Take care. God bless you.
The driver was handed court documents, but he still looked physically unwell, holding his head and appearing distressed. Instead of offering medical help, after violently pulling him from the car, the officers moved on to the paperwork. There was no sign of empathy for the harm their force had caused. But wait, there's even more in this case.
Yeah, you all right or something? Or you're holding your head? What's that? Oh, sorry.
I appreciate that. Oh, yeah. Have a good one.
Sorry. I think that's been a little goofy. There we go. Alright. You got your stuff?
It's just an appearance ticket. It's not guilt or anything like that. Just says on May 21st at 9:30 a.m. Phone number so they can remind you one of those. You also can
The driver was given his phone back, and the officer repeated that it didn't have to go this way, as if he hadn't taken part in the escalation. He spoke about the need for cooperation, ignoring that the law requires reasonable suspicion and proportional force. Instead of admitting fault, he tried to justify their actions, which was deeply troubling. Honestly, when will these officers realize they're the ones causing the chaos, not the people?
Here's your phone. Listen, that never has to get to that point, right? I'm not gonna try to beat a dead horse here, but you you have to comply with our orders when in that situation, okay?
just keep this guy to remind you. That's all you're gonna need. All right, get my book back.
Yeah. Right on top. Yeah, I gave him his phone.
In the end, the officer let the man go on his way as if nothing had happened. They didn't even realize they had been caught on camera doing something shocking while on duty. And that's the real problem for them. This was just another routine stop. No reflection, no accountability, just business as usual. But if you thought these officers were bad, just wait until you see our next case. A couple faced an officer who questioned why they were behind the fence, even though they said they were on their own property. Instead of acting neutral, the officer immediately treated them like they were doing something wrong. It was clear he didn't want to hear their side. He just gave orders and refused to check the situation himself. Sometimes the badge isn't used to find truth, it's used to silence it.
Barry and Kelly, I assume?
Yes.
All right. So why am I over here, do you think?
I have no idea.
You don't know?
No.
Okay. So what are we doing down past the fence area tonight?
We were on our property showing someone where the pins were.
Okay. You can't be going over the fence, okay?
No.
I'm telling you right now.
Okay, can I just break in for a sec?
Yeah.
We have a survey. They
Yeah.
have a survey.
Right.
And their survey shows that they own where they put the fence, and our
Yeah.
survey shows that we own beyond the fence.
Okay. Own beyond the fence to how far?
We want me to show you?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. No, we're not walking down there. You can you can show me the paperwork.
Oh, hang on, I'll
Yeah,
get it for
yeah,
you.
go ahead.
You stay
Let's
right,
see
you
what
guys
it-
all stay right
let's
here.
see what it shows.
The couple showed their version of the land survey, trying to explain that the fence was wrongly placed on their property. The officer seemed uninterested in the facts on paper and used sarcasm instead of professionalism. His attitude felt more like mockery than any real effort to resolve the issue. Hard to believe the uniform comes with that much ego and that little curiosity.
Well, it is to a certain point. So why don't you show me what we got here?
Okay, so our survey shows that
Yeah, let's put this right on the car so we're not looking at it all rolled up.
Would you like to walk down there? Because
no, we're not going down there.
I don't think you can see.
I don't know why.
You don't know why we're not going down there?
No, I don't know why we can't see it on there.
Okay. So,
Really?
So
I've been down there. I know what we're looking at. So where's this road right here?
I thought you knew where everything was.
Is that what we want to do? We want to be a smart ass like that?
Well, I'm going to give you your best chance to see what is what, and you don't want to go down
So this is probably the road right here.
No, this is the road right
here.
here.
Okay, so that's what I'm asking. So you show me where you guys own, and you show me where that fence is.
Okay.
Okay.
We own down to these 2 pins here.
Okay, yep.
And that fence, I'll draw it for you. Screw up my survey, but okay.
The discussion grew more intense as they argued over the exact fence line. The officer showed no interest in checking the area himself, even though the couple invited him to do so. Instead, he tried to discredit their documents and present his personal opinion as if it were official, blurring the lines between facts and perception. It's a strange skill, ignoring proof while acting like the voice of reason, and it's far from over.
So they put a fence right here.
It kind of looks like the fence kind of comes up parallel with this road right here, in my opinion, but...
Would you want to walk down? I mean, are you opposed to walking
No,
down?
I guess not. We can. Yeah, sure. And honestly, then maybe I'll go look at hers too.
I could have brought you the Northern survey too.
This is just foolish why neighbors would fight like this, really.
I think it is.
You know?
I didn't put up the fence on my own land.
There's just no need of it. You know, I don't fight with any of my neighbors.
Well, you
find us fighting?
Hey, hang on.
This fighting? Yeah, I find this to be fighting.
Us to be on our own land?
You know? I think we're just barking up the wrong tree here, you know?
Well, I think it's a civil matter, and I think that's...
Well...
The situation escalated when one of the men mentioned he had had a stroke, yet the officer remained harsh. Instead of showing concern, he spoke with a threatening and arrogant tone. The core mistake was failing to see the difference between a property dispute and an actual crime, treating a civil matter like criminal behavior.
We're arguing about a 5-foot section of land here.
Did we call you? Did we call you? I think they called you.
Yeah, right, because you've been poking around down here.
Well,
poking around.
Honey, please don't. If it were your property, would you stay off it just because somebody...
We're not talking about that.
We aren't?
No.
Well, we are actually. You're going to determine it's theirs tonight?
Just like I thought, okay?
Is it?
Yeah, it is. This isn't how you have it described here. Hey, get your ass up here. Get up here right now, okay?
Don't.
We're not.
Look,
we're
he's had a stroke.
We're not playing this game.
Just go easy on the guy. He's had a stroke, okay?
So look, here's what I'm looking at. This is, to me, this isn't where this fence is, okay?
Where do you think this fence is?
Here's the road. Look at the fence. It's more like this.
There's 2 pieces to the fence.
The officer tried to interpret the fences and cones, even though he clearly wasn't familiar with the area. He read the boundary lines arbitrarily, acted as if his guesses weren't enough to draw conclusions. His lack of expertise wouldn't have been an issue if he hadn't arrogantly refused to consider anyone else's documents or explanations. It's one thing not to know, another to be loudly wrong and proud of it.
So that's not what it looks like to me.
Okay.
Okay.
So this is part of their fence. Okay.
So this looks like it's right here is where their fence is.
They ran a line with a rope. One piece of fence up here. They ran the line down to here, and then the fence continues over here. This is what you're seeing here. And then
you're telling me this right here is the fence? Then why did you draw the fence right here?
This is the first piece of fence. The rope goes all the way down to that spot right there.
And where's this pin?
Right down here. The pin's right there.
So,
where's the pin case?
Right. So this is, again, we're inside 5 feet is what we're arguing about here.
Well, that's what they're arguing about too, right?
Really? Like, this is ridiculous.
Look, they put a fence up on our property. They did.
So why are you not ripping the fence down then?
Well, I don't know what I could be accused of. We're trying to handle it through the civil court system. Right? Are you the appropriate party to call? I didn't call you.
No, I get it. I'm
I'm
telling you, to me.
Even though his property lines were clearly disputed, the officer began threatening criminal charges. He didn't admit that he wasn't qualified to decide land ownership. Instead, he acted as if he were the judge. His approach was one-sided, ignoring how complex the situation was and the fact that both parties had presented survey documents.
This looks like criminal trespass to me, okay? Because you've got a sign right here. So this is what I'm telling you both, okay? You do not belong down on here, okay? All right? So that's what I'm explaining to you guys.
That our survey doesn't show that?
You're telling me that from that pin you drew this. That's not what this fence does. Okay? This goes right down here.
I'm pretty sure I'm familiar with what's here.
Right.
So and you're just getting here. So
right.
All right. So the fence piece that I drew for you goes from here.
Right.
Okay. So right.
Yeah.
All right. Down through this rope, down to where the fence takes a turn. That's what I know that Mr. Knowlton put a pin 3 feet from this pin down this line. So I might have been off just a little bit, but
Even when it was shown that the boundary markers had been there for decades, the officer still refused to consider that the couple might have valid ownership. He dismissed the historical facts and acted as if his present-day view of the land was all the proof that was needed. Situations like this, his role should be neutral, not authoritarian. It's sad to watch an officer waste his authority on something he doesn't understand.
It's right here, and then the fence continues from the pin that he put in this way, right to maybe to there.
Okay.
What you're seeing is a supposed boundary.
So again, you guys are all wound up over a foot of lawn? This is what you guys are coming down here to...
We were showing someone where the pins are. There are pins.
For what? For what?
They're ours.
Okay, for what? What are you down here walking around for, showing people that?
It's our property.
I'm not buying it, I'll be honest with you.
You're not buying that it's our property?
No, I can see the pin there, okay? I mean, if anything...
Okay, there's a pin here.
Here's the other thing. If anything, looking at this, geez, that shed's even on your property then, isn't it?
Well, that's not our property.
Right, this isn't right here?
No, this here. See the dark line?
Yeah.
That's the boundaries of our property.
Okay.
The officer asked why there were no physical barriers on the disputed land, as if that proved ownership. Instead of understanding that the couple was trying to avoid conflict, he used it against them. He then threatened to charge them with the crime next time, despite the property dispute being unresolved, making his threat legally baseless and reckless. Only in bad policing does restraint become a weapon and caution a confession.
Funny shape.
Okay, so is that the shed right there?
That is the shed.
Okay.
Our surveyor did not do a survey of this other person's property.
I see.
So this is the approximate boundary line, which I don't even think is true, but because the pin's over here.
Right.
So this pin here
is
right here.
Okay.
Right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the other pin that our surveyor indicated, or actually set, James Moore.
So how long has this been here for?
This pin here has been here since 1972.
Okay. Right.
Okay.
So you guys got this is my point. This is what I'm talking about. This is why this is ridiculous. That we're arguing about all this stuff.
Then why are you coming out here?
Because I'm trying to explain to you guys that we're, here we are talking about a foot now to me, okay?
Even though 2 different land surveys were presented, the officer refused to admit that the situation was complicated. He once again threatened legal action if they returned, even though the issue clearly belonged in civil court. His approach was intimidating rather than mediating, which only made the tension between the neighbors worse. It's telling when someone's job is to keep the peace, but they choose to fuel the fire.
Well, kind of.
Well, actually, from here to there is 22 feet.
Right. So How come you guys don't have anything here then? How come you don't have anything?
If we wanted to be, we would.
Right.
Okay.
So
what if we're getting blamed no matter what we do.
So this is what I'm telling you, okay? I'm telling you that the next time I see you on video down here, I'm going to come charge you with criminal trespass, okay?
But how can you do that?
So that's what I'm explaining to you. Come on.
Okay. Wait. No. Our survey shows that it's our property.
Right, well,
so how is it that you're going to charge us with criminal trespass?
We'll let the prosecutors figure it out, okay?
We can call your bluff if you want to.
Well, what I explained to your husband was I'm not charging you today because she didn't want to do that, okay?
Okay.
So
let me ask you a question.
Yep.
This shows that it's our property. Where we
were. If you say so, right.
Well,
not based on the other one that I was looking at, but.
Well, Mr. Knowlton came in after this one was done.
Let's go. We can walk as we talk.
And he did draw it differently. But when that happens,
yeah,
you have to go to court to determine whose property it actually is. Correct?
Yeah. So how come we haven't done that?
We have been working on that.
Right. Okay.
So.
And then this was put in. This was 3 years ago.
Yeah, but they didn't have their survey until recently, more recently.
The couple tried to explain their behavior wasn't provocative. They were simply showing a friend where the boundary markers were. The officer ignored their intentions and focused only on the fact that they were present on the land. His interpretation was rigid, and his communication lacked both trust and professional detachment. In the end, it felt less like a conversation and more like a lecture no one asked for.
That's what I'm explaining to you, okay? Is that if you guys are down on that piece again, I will come charge you with criminal trespass. Okay?
Honey, don't.
All right.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Okay. We have had.
Here, I'll take a picture of it.
No,
that's
no.
right. You want to rip it out of my hand?
I thought you were handing it to me. I didn't want to drop it on the ground.
Right.
Hey, you know
So
what?
that's what I'm explaining to you guys, okay?
Okay, let me ask you a question. The survey shows it to be our property.
Yep.
Their survey shows it to be their property. How do you determine who's trespassing?
I'm telling you, if you guys are down on that small piece again, I will be back to charge you with criminal trespass, okay?
Okay. You're trying to determine a civil matter?
That's what I'm advising you, okay? Until you guys have this all sorted out, you don't belong down there because we can't have it figured out, right?
Okay, let me ask you a question. If they come on, what this thing shows...
They're not coming on your property. You're telling me they've come and poked around on your property?
Yes.
Okay, how come you're not calling us?
Because
we're handling it in a civil court.
How come you're not calling us?
Because you're their friends.
Despite the woman pointing out the double standards in the neighbor's past presence on their land, the officer denied knowing them, but still responded defensively. He didn't address the inconsistency, nor did he reflect on his own bias, choosing instead to shut down the conversation. Honestly, next time you wonder why no officer shows up when you really need one, remember this video. They're probably off handling things that never needed a cop in the first place.
No, we're not their friends. I've never met the lady before in my life.
Yeah, well, it's obvious that the town of Oakland heavily supports her.
I don't know why. I haven't met you folks, and I haven't met her.
Why are you so aggressive to us then?
I'm not.
I feel like you really
No.
are. Okay.
Okay.
So let me ask you a question.
Yep.
If our survey shows it to be ours and their survey shows it to be theirs,
Yep.
and you show up,
Yep.
how do you determine who to charge with criminal trespass?
Well, as the other one I looked at, okay, it appeared she owned up to that road, okay.
In the little triangle.
Right. And again, this is what I think is so ridiculous.
Right.
We're all wound up about all this little about a small piece of land.
We're not.
You are. You're going down on that property. You guys are hanging around down there. I saw you on video today. I saw you on video yesterday. Why do we need to go provoke the situation?
We had a friend in town who's been familiar with the situation. We were simply showing him with a pencil.
Right.
No, that's true. You call me a liar?
I think it's ridiculous.
So wait. Now, if they come on the property that our survey shows is ours, can we have them
then give us a call.
Trespass?
Give us a call.
And that's what you'll do?
But you've never done that, have you?
Yeah, actually I did.
You have?
We did. They were parked on our lawn in the like summer of
Right.
2021.
Again, I don't know why any neighbors want to fight with you.
Despite the couple's efforts to clarify ownership, the officer kept saying he didn't have time, couldn't be there all night. He acted as if they were wasting his time when in reality, it was the opposite from the start. They were seeking clarity. Hell, he deflected responsibility and rushed to shut things down. It's wild how someone can hijack your evening, then blame you for the delay.
But you said you'd help us if we called you.
Right. Yeah, I did. So call me if they come on your property. But I'm going to have video from you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you would charge us with, so no one can be in the zone where it overlaps.
Right. Probably shouldn't be. Right.
Neither party should be.
Then it's that easy. Right.
Right. Because what they've done.
Because I don't think she's. I don't know how much she's milling around down, in
Their
that
family,
area.
I mean, they haven't been here as much this year, but their family's done it constantly.
Okay.
They're always on our property. They're always parked on our property.
What? That little piece of property?
Just like
Does
the
it
one
matter?
we walked
Right,
on. That.
right,
But
right.
what you're saying,
You said it.
Right. So this again, this is what I'm telling you. Okay. I can't stay here all night because I'm the only unit. Okay. And I've got complaints to handle. Okay. What I'm telling you is, you don't be going down on there. I'll come back and
they
charge you
can't go
for-
on the part where
Right,
it shows we own.
right,
Are you going to tell her
right.
that?
Yeah. I already did. Okay. Have a good night, folks.
Okay, the next time they're on that property, we'll be calling you. You too.
The officer's final words confirmed he still saw the situation as ridiculous and pointless. Rather than acknowledging the seriousness of the issue or the emotional toll on citizens, he chose to downplay the entire incident. His dismissive tone revealed just how little regard he had for the people he was supposed to serve. Don't get too comfortable. What's coming next will make this look tame. Some officers aren't just crossing the line, they're bulldozing it. The next video we have for you takes the abuse of power to a whole new level. You won't believe how far it goes. Don't miss it. Hit play on our next video and see the disturbing truth for yourself.